Welcome to the A-Team Group Virtual Data Management Summit Europe. Our next session is a keynote from Stuart Harvey, CEO of Datactics. Stuart's keynote is titled DataOps and why it's the next big thing and significant for financial services. We would like to thank our sponsors without whom this summit would not be possible. Our platinum sponsor, SmartStream RDU, and sponsor of this keynote, Datactics. If you have any questions, please direct them to Stuart using the details on the slide at the end of the presentation. Over to you, Stuart.
Hi, everyone. I started working in banking in the 90s. I was a programmer developing real-time software systems. In those good old days, I'd be given a specification. I'd write some code, test and document it, and after a few weeks, it would be deployed on the trading floor. If my software broke or the requirements changed, it would come back to me and that process would start all over again. This waterfall approach was slow, and if I'm being honest, apart from the professional pride involved in not wanting to create buggy code, I didn't feel a lot of ownership for what I created. In the last 5 years, a new methodology in software engineering has changed all of that. It's called DevOps. DevOps brings a very strategic and agile approach to building new software. More recently, DevOps had a baby sister called DataOps, and it's this subject that I'd like to talk to you about today. Many chief data officers and analysts have been impressed by the increase in productivity and agility that their CTO colleagues are seeing through the use of DevOps. Now they'd like to get in on the act. In the last few months at Datactics, we've been talking to a lot of CDOs about their desire to have a more agile approach to data governance and how DataOps fits into this picture. In these conversations, we've talked a lot about the ownership of data. A key question is how to associate the measurement and fixing of a piece of broken data with the person most closely responsible for it. In our experience, the owner of a piece of data usually makes the best data steward. We've seen a strong desire to push data governance and the measurement of actual data quality at a record level into the processes and automation that exists at a bank. So I'd like to share with you some simple examples of what we are doing with our investment bank and wealth management clients. I hope that these will show that a self-service approach to data quality with appropriate tooling can empower highly agile data quality measurement for any company wishing to implement the standard DataOps processes of things like validation, sorting, aggregation, reporting, and reconciliation. The people who use the Datactics platform are responsible for the governance and the reporting of data and its quality. They typically have titles like Chief Data Officer, Data Quality Manager, or Head of Regulation. These guys are often responsible for very large volumes of typically messy data relating to entities, counterparties, financial reference data, and transactions. This data doesn't have to reside in just one place. It transitions through multiple bank processes. The data is sometimes at rest in a data store, and sometimes it's in motion as it passes via ETL processes to other bank systems that live upstream of the point at which it was created or at which it was sourced. For example, a bank might download counterparty information from Companies House to populate its legal entity master. This data is then published into multiple consuming applications for KYC, AML, and lifecycle management. In these systems, the counterparty records are then augmented with further information such as an LEI, a BIC code, or a ticker symbol. This ability to empower subject matter experts who are not programmers to measure this data at rest and in motion has led to the following trends. Firstly, data quality management is moving from being the sole responsibility of a potentially remote data steward to all of those people who are involved in producing and changing the data. Secondly, the data quality issue becomes the job of everyone. Let's think about this in the day-to-day job of pricing at a bank. The team that owns the security master will want to test the accuracy and completeness of data as it arrives from a vendor. The analyst working upstream who takes an end-of-day price from a securities master to calculate a VWAP, let's say, will have different checks relating to the timeliness of that information. Finally, beyond that, there's going to be a data scientist who uses that VWAP to create some sort of predictive analytic. She will want to build her own rules to validate data quality. A final trend that we're seeing is the tighter integration with governance tools. To be effective, self-service data quality and DataOps require very tight integration with the existing systems that hold data dictionaries, metadata, and lineage information. Here's an illustration of how we see Datactics self-service data quality integrating with DataOps in a high-impact way that you might want to consider for your own business. First off, we offer a set of pre-built dashboards for Power BI, for Tableau and Qlik that show your data stewards, give your data stewards access to the data rapidly, and show them data quality measurements that relate just to them. A user in the London office, for example, might be enabled to see data for Europe, or perhaps just for his department. Within a few clicks, a data steward for the legal entity master could identify all records that are in breach of an accuracy check, where an LAI is incorrect, or a timeliness check, where the LAI has not been revalidated in the 𝘀𝗶𝘁 database inside the last 12 months. Data Quality Clinic extends the management dashboard that we've just seen by allowing a bank to return broken data to its owner for fixing. It effectively quarantines broken records and passes them to the user in a queue. Clinic runs in a web browser and is tightly integrated with information related to data dictionaries, lineage, and third-party data sources for validation. Extending the LAI example that I used just now, I might be the owner of a bunch of entities that have failed an LAI check. I'm accessing them in Data Quality Clinic, and Clinic would show me the records in question and highlight the fields in error. It would then connect to 𝘀𝗶𝘁 as the source of truth for LAIs and provide me hints on how to correct it. As you'd expect, this process can be greatly enhanced by the application of machine learning to automate this entity resolution process under strict human supervision. Flow Designer is the Datactics rules studio in which a data governance team, usually super users, manage, document, and source control rules for profiling data, for cleansing data, and then for matching it. We like to share these rules across our client base with a client's permission. So Flow Designer comes preloaded with rules for everything from name and address checking to QSIP and ISIN validation. The final part of the platform allows your technology team to connect to multiple data sources, to schedule how rules are applied to data, both at rest and in motion. It allows for the sharing and reuse of these rules across all parts of your business. We have many clients solving big data problems involving hundreds of millions of rows using DQM. Thanks for joining me today as I've outlined how self-service data quality is a key part of successful DataOps. CDOs need real-time data quality insights to keep up with business needs, while technology architects require a platform that doesn't need a huge programming team to support it. If you have any questions about how we can help you with this approach, I'd be very pleased to receive an email or in fact to give you a call. Once again, thank you for joining me.